Welcome back to another episode of WordFence Tutorials of Pixumweb. In today's tutorial, we're going to go over another security plugin that you can use to protect your WordPress-powered website. In a previous episode, we went over iThemes Security, which is another great plugin to use. And if you haven't checked out that video, go ahead and check it out after this one. The plugin that we're going to go over today is another popular one. I recommend it for all my clients, and I tend to install it on every single website I create. So in order to install it, all you have to do is sign into your dashboard of your admin account, go to the plugins, click on Add New. It is a free a free plugin that you can use, and it's called WordFence. Just type that in, and you'll see it is the first result. It has 5 stars with over 2,592 reviews for it. So it's a very popular plugin. It has over 1 million active installations. So that shows you how powerful it is. If you want to check out more details, click on that link there, and then you see some more details about the security plugin itself, what it actually does, how it protects your website, where to go to get some more information, like the docs of the WordFence website itself, documentation, and any support that you might need. It tells you some of the features, like the blocking features that it has. It's very powerful. It actually is a web application firewall. It provides that, which really does a good job at protecting your website. It has login security, security scanning. As I mentioned, it has a firewall. It has some monitoring features as well. It's capable for multi-site setups as well, which is very good to have, especially if you have a multi-site installation, and I'll go over that in another episode. It actually has some caching features built in, which is pretty interesting. It's one of the only plugins that are security based that actually has this feature. Normally you'll use something like WP Super Cache or W3 Total Cache or one of those cache plugins, but this has some performance capabilities as well, so that's nice to have there. And then you see, it's has a free learning center if you want to learn more about the different features, etc. Installation we're going over now, but they do have some documentation on that. Screenshots, change log. This tells you the changes they've made to the plugin itself, any improvements, enhancements, any bugs that have been found. These are the facts and the reviews. As you can see, very popular. Somebody says it needs improvement. Every plugin can use improvement, and that's why we get updates for them. And you can see that it is a well-maintained plugin because it was just updated about a week ago, and it is very popular with all the reviews that it has. So once you're ready to install, just click on Install Now. It'll unpackage the plugin, install it, and then once you have the successfully installed message, click on Activate Plugin. Once you do so, it'll activate the plugin. You'll get a nice little pop-up saying you've just installed WordFence. Start entering the administrative email account. This is where you'll get alerts, notifications, things of that nature. If you want to take a tour, you can click on this link here, Start Tour, and it'll take you on a brief tour of the plugin itself. It welcomes you, of course. That's nice. It tells you some information on it. Continue with the tour. Powered by our cloud servers. WordFence is not just a standalone plugin for WordPress. It is part of this company here, and they do scanning all over, so they can determine, any malicious bots or any malware that might be out there in the wild. They can scan for it, and that's one of the ways they help to protect your website. And we always want to stay off of Google's blacklist. So this is good for that, because if you get malware on your website, Google can, blacklist you. And the last thing you want is a notification in your browser that your website might have malware on it. So you definitely don't want that. So that's one of the reasons why it's good to install this plugin. It'll help with that, to prevent that from happening. Learn how to use WordFence. You can start with a scan. We'll go over the scanning process. Use the tools we provide. These are some of the tools. You can have auto scan set up, and then they have something called live traffic, which tells you, more information about what's happening on your site as it's happening, which is a pretty cool feature to have. Some more information that you could use, and then it tells you about site performance. If you want to speed up your website, that's always good to do, because users love fast websites. Caching is part of the process. So this has a cache feature built in, and we'll go over that in a minute. And then it also has IP blocking. So if a specific IP is trying to attack your website or your server, this will monitor for that and either throttle it if you set it up to do so, or block it. This is actually a very important feature. Then it has a password auditor to audit the strength of your passwords and to set password policies. And then cell phone sign-in. You can want to permanently block all brute force hacks. The premium version, there is a premium version of this that you could use, and it allows for cell phone, a secure sign-in using your cell phone, and it has two-factor authentication, things of that nature. And you can block countries. If you have a local website that really caters to a very local area, you can block entire countries that are known, for harboring, a lot of hackers, things of that nature, or sending out attacks. And these are some of the countries that you can select. You can choose. I don't tend to do that, but you can if you want. Then you can learn more about scheduled scans. You can have full control of when they run. And then who is. You can look up, domains and IP owners. If you notice an IP address that continuously tries, to attack your website, you can check out the who is here, or you can just, go into your browser and check out who is through there. There's advanced blocking as well. And then learn how to customize WordFence. This is the options page over here. So let's get started. So you would get a WordFence API key, and this will show you what the key means. This is the actual documentation page of wordfence.com. If you want to go premium, you click on there. If you want to enable the firewall, leave this checked by default. It's good to have it checked off because it's a way and feature to protect your website. Enable login security. This allows you to, you can modify individual options further down this page, but this is good to leave checked off by default. If you want to have live traffic login, you can leave this checked off, but do note that this does take a lot of computer resources. So, if you're not going to use the feature, might as well uncheck it. So you can do that. And then these are some premium features that you can use. Enable automatic scheduled scans. You can have them automatically done, or you could just do it manually. Again, if you have it set up automatically, then it might happen at a time when you get a lot of visitors, might slow down the performance of your website. So maybe you want to just do it manually. If you want to, you can uncheck that and just do it manually. But if you don't mind it happening automatically, which is great to just have it happen, have it done for you, just leave that checked. And then I recommend checking this off. Whenever there's an update to WordFence, you can just have it update automatically. And that is, that's good to do because, they have patches or maybe new updates that they need to install. And then where to send email alerts. You will put in your email here, email address there. And then you can set your security level. So you can disable all WordFence security measures here by clicking on the level 0 options. I don't recommend that, obviously. The other one is light protection, just the basics. Medium, suitable for most sites. High security, lockdown mode. Protect the site against an attack in progress at the cost of inconveniencing some users. So this really puts your website on a lockdown mode. If you feel you're getting attacked, then you can choose this. And then our custom settings. I normally just leave it checked off at that. So now we're going to go down and check out some more of the options. So for the advanced options here, email me when WordFence is automatically updated. If you want to receive an email, you can do that. I don't think it's necessary. If there's critical problems, warnings, IP addresses being blocked, someone is locked out from login, attempts, lost password, alert me when someone with administrative access signs in. You can check that or leave that checked. Alert me when a non-admin user signs in. If you have a lot of contributors, authors, editors, you can check this off if you just want to monitor it, but maybe it's too much, so maybe you just want to leave it empty. You can set how many alerts you get per hour. Enable email summary. You can choose how often you want to get it. Live traffic, don't log signed-in users with publishing access. You can do that. And then these are some of the scans that you can do. These are the defaults. If you wanted to look for changes in your themes that are installed, you can check that off. And then changes in plugins. These are good features to check off just in case somehow, some way, someone hacks into your site or backdoors their way in. Then you can see if any changes have been made. It'll alert you if you have the automatic scanning set. And then if you want to scan files outside of your WordPress installation, you can do that here. If you want to scan images and binary files as if they were executables, you can do that here. And then if you want to have high sensitivity scanning, now note it does state here it might get false positives. So, if you check that off, just be prepared for false positives. The firewall rules are over here. So immediately block fake Google crawlers. I check that off. And then for the next one, how should we treat Google crawlers? They should always have unlimited access to the site. Now for these other options here, you can choose. A safe thing to do would be to, just put these all to 240, per minute. Anything above that, I don't see, how any individual human is going to be doing, doing more than this, so you definitely want to, configure these. Then you kind of throttle it or you can block it. So that's up to you. And then if an IP address is blocked, when it breaks its rules, how long should it be, blocked? You can choose 5 minutes, 30 minutes. I tend to recommend a day or more. It depends. And you want to enforce strong passwords. And then this will determine how many login failures. Now, you don't want to have this set too high, because then pretty much somebody can brute force attack, your website. But you don't want to set it too low if you're not using a password manager, because then, if you inadvertently forget your password or just, put in a wrong character, then you can end up blocking yourself. So you want to leave this maybe at like 10. And then 10. So then you can count failures over what period of time. So, if it happens within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, things of that nature. And then this is the amount of time to lock somebody out. So you're going to monitor failures over maybe 5 minutes, and then you can block them for like a day. And then if a person is trying to log in with an invalid username, lock them out. So you can do that. And then if you want to directly lock out certain IPs, you can do that here as well. All right, so let's move on down the list. You could whitelist IP addresses, that bypasses the rules. So they're given like the red carpet treatment into your site. And then you can also choose some other advanced options here. So block IPs who send post requests with blank user agents and refer. You can check that off. You can get more information by clicking this link. And then some of these defaults, just leave them the way it is. Maximum execution time. If you're on shared hosting, you can check this off if you need to. WordFence does use a good amount of computational resources because it is a robust plugin, security plugin. So you might have to monitor its uses of your server, but typically by default that's fine. If you want to enable debugging mode, you can do that. I tend not to. If you want to delete the tables upon deactivation, you can check that off. I would never, deactivate or delete WordFence to begin with because it's a great plugin and I haven't had any issues whatsoever with it. So, you can check that off if you want. I wish all plugins did that because it would just keep your database clean. But they do offer that. They also have some other features here. And then if you want to export your settings, you can do that. If you have multiple, websites that you use WordFence with, you can export your settings and then import them there as well. So you would just save your changes there. So you get that message, you reload, you're good to go. All right, so now let's do a scan. When you do a scan, I didn't set an email address for the alerts here, so it's giving me a notification. But when you do a scan, just click on Start a WordFence Scan. It'll start the process of scanning your website. And then it'll show you the alerts down here if there's any issues, or a congratulations, you have no issues whatsoever. And then if there's any ignored issues, it'll just show you right there. If you have live traffic set up, it'll show you right there. Now for the caching purposes, by default it's disabled, but you can enable basic caching or Falcon engine. Now this is actually pretty good. I mean, it's comparable to some of the best caching plugins out there, and having it built into one plugin, it means that you don't have to maintain so many different plugins. So that's pretty cool. You can set this up, test out the levels that you want. I haven't had any issues with this feature, so you can just check off 30 to 50 times speed increase. Now obviously it won't increase your website speed by 50 times, but it does help substantially. And then some of the caching options that you have over here. And then if you need to clear the cache, you can do that right here. So that's good to do. And then whatever, you're going to save your changes there. If you have any blocked IPs, they'll show you right there. Password audit. You can start your password audit right here. It'll give you some information about that. If you have the premium version for, sign-ins, country blocking, scan schedule. So you can choose, when to schedule the scans. So that's pretty good. Who is lookup? You can put in the IP address over here and it'll tell you who the IP address belongs to. Not the actual individual, but the company, the website, where they're from exactly. And then the advanced blocking over here. So you can, block, certain IP address ranges from here, host names, things of that nature, and then you can do pattern blocking, which is pretty good. And then this is just again the options page that we went over initially. WordFence is, as I stated when we started this episode, is one of the best security plugins that you can use to protect your website. You could use it in conjunction with iTheme Security with no problems. I haven't run into any issues there. It is 5 stars, over 1 million active installations. It's really a popular security plugin. And then if you want to take a look at their documentation page, you can just go to wordfence.com, and it'll give you some more information about the plugin itself, how they do what they do. And, if you want to get a premium subscription, you can do that there as well. I highly recommend it. I think it does a phenomenal job for your website, especially since it's free for the main features, and the main features are pretty much all you need. So I definitely recommend it. Go over to your WordPress powered website and install this plugin as soon as you can. Thanks for watching this episode. If you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, or comments, please leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as we'll be giving you some more information on how to manage your WordPress powered website the best way possible. So stay tuned to the next episode. Take care.